Denmark just gave Ukraine the shells Russia feared most. Denmark has just done something that looks small on paper, but on the battlefield, it could become a nightmare for Russia. Ukraine is receiving another 15,000 long-range artillery rounds, and some of them have already arrived. At first glance, that sounds like another normal aid package. Another European country sends ammunition, another headline appears, another ministry statement gets published. But that is the boring version of the story. The real version is much more dangerous. Because Ukraine did not simply ask Denmark for more shells. Ukraine asked Denmark to change the kind of shells it was sending. Kyiv looked at the battlefield, looked at what Russia was doing, looked at the expanding drone kill zone, and made one brutal conclusion. Short-range firepower is no longer enough. The front has become too deadly, Russian positions are too spread out, the rear is too important, and Ukrainian crews cannot afford to crawl closer and closer to Russian lines just to hit the targets that actually matter. So Ukraine asked Denmark to rework part of its military aid and redirect money away from short-range ammunition and into long-range artillery rounds. Denmark accepted, and that one decision changes everything. Because this is not just ammunition, this is reach, this is distance. This is Ukraine saying, if Russia thinks its command posts, fuel depots, ammunition dumps, and convoy routes are safe behind the line, then Russia is about to learn a very painful lesson. There is no safe rear anymore, not for long. And that is exactly why this package matters. For months, Russia has tried to survive this war by hiding behind depth. The front line absorbs the violence, the rear keeps the war machine alive. Fuel moves forward, ammunition moves forward. Commanders sit behind the chaos and try to control the battlefield from a safer distance. That is how an army keeps breathing. But long-range artillery goes straight for the lungs. It does not need to smash every trench. It does not need to destroy every tank. It does not even need to create some dramatic Hollywood explosion every time it fires. It simply has to reach the places Russia cannot afford to lose. The fuel point, the ammunition storage site, the command post, the repair yard, the bridge, the road junction, the convoy waiting just far enough back to feel safe. That feeling is what Denmark has just helped Ukraine destroy. Because once Ukrainian guns can reach farther, Russian commanders have to start asking terrifying questions. Is this depot too close? Is this road still usable? Can we keep artillery shells here overnight? Can we park fuel trucks in the open? Can this command post survive until morning? That is how panic starts in a military system, not with one big collapse, with 1,000 small doubts. First, the depots stop feeling safe, then the command posts stop feeling safe, then the convoy routes stop feeling safe, then the rear stops feeling like the rear. And once the rear becomes nervous, the whole army begins to slow down. That is the hidden power of Denmark's 15,000 shells. They are not just being sent to create explosions, they are being sent to create fear. And fear is already one of Russia's biggest problems. Because this war has changed, it is no longer the war Russia thought it was fighting in 2022. Back then, Moscow believed size would win. More men, more artillery, more tanks, more missiles, more brutality. But the battlefield has become smarter. Drones are everywhere, sensors are everywhere. A vehicle moves and someone sees it. A supply truck stops and someone marks it. A command post transmits and someone listens. The sky has become a hunting ground. And now, Denmark is helping Ukraine add another layer to that hunt. Drones find the target. Long-range artillery hits the target. Drones make the rear visible. Artillery makes the rear burn. This is the nightmare combination Russia has been trying to avoid. Because when drones and long-range artillery work together, the battlefield stretches, the danger zone expands. The enemy can no longer say, we are far enough back. Far enough back from what? From the drones? From the guns? From the next coordinates being passed to a Ukrainian battery? That is the problem Russia now faces. Ukraine does not need to push every unit forward to create pressure. It can make Russian logistics suffer from a safer distance. And in a war of attrition, that is everything. Because the most dangerous weapon is not always the one that kills the most soldiers in one strike. Sometimes the most dangerous weapon is the one that forces the enemy to change how it moves, how it sleeps, how it hides, and how it thinks. That is what long-range artillery does. It turns distance into pressure. It turns Russian depth into a liability. It forces the Russian army to spend more energy protecting itself instead of attacking. And once an army spends too much energy surviving, it starts losing the ability to dominate. That is where the crisis begins. Russia's war machine depends on movement. Ammunition has to move, fuel has to move, replacement troops have to move, damaged vehicles have to move backward, repaired vehicles have to move forward, officers have to communicate, command posts have to function, roads have to stay open. Everything depends on the rear staying organized. But Ukraine's strategy is to make that rear feel hunted. Not occasionally, constantly. Every time a Russian commander relocates an ammo depot, that costs time. Every time a fuel convoy has to take a longer route, that costs fuel. Every time a command post has to move, that disrupts control. Every time Russia spreads its supplies out to avoid being hit, the system becomes harder to manage. And when a system becomes harder to manage, it becomes easier to break. This is why Denmark's decision is more important than it looks. Because Denmark did not just send Ukraine another pile of shells, it sent Ukraine the kind of shells that match the war Ukraine is now fighting. A war where getting closer can mean getting killed. A war where drone surveillance punishes anything exposed. A war where the side with longer reach can stay alive, while forcing the enemy to live under constant pressure. That is why Ukraine wanted the aid reworked. That is why Denmark listened. And that is why Russia should be worried. Because this is what adaptive support looks like. It means Ukraine is no longer just waiting for whatever its partners happen to send. Ukraine is telling them exactly what the battlefield requires. And when a country like Denmark responds quickly, the effect is immediate. The aid becomes sharper, the timing becomes more dangerous, the support becomes tied directly to battlefield reality. That is a terrible development for Russia, because a slow aid system is something Russia can survive. A predictable aid system is something Russia can plan around. A flexible aid system is different. A flexible aid system learns, it adapts, it changes shape, and it starts feeding Ukraine exactly the tools needed for the next phase of the war. Right now, that next phase is about range. Ukraine wants Russian support zones to shrink. Ukraine wants Russian commanders to feel unsafe deeper behind the line. Ukraine wants artillery crews to hit valuable targets without moving into Russia's kill zone. Ukraine wants Moscow's army to spend more time hiding, relocating, and defending than advancing. And Denmark just helped make that possible. That is why this package should not be treated like a normal ammunition delivery. It is part of a wider suffocation strategy. Russia wants to keep pushing at the front. Ukraine wants to make every push more expensive before it even begins. Because before a Russian assault reaches the front line, it has to be fed. Someone has to bring the shells, someone has to bring the fuel, someone has to move the infantry, someone has to repair the vehicles. Someone has to keep the command structure alive. Long-range artillery attacks that entire chain. It does not just hit the fist, it hits the arm behind the fist. And when that arm weakens, the punch loses power. This is where Russian commanders are now trapped. If they keep supplies close to the front, Ukrainian long-range artillery can reach them. If they pull supplies farther back, the front becomes harder to feed. If they concentrate ammunition, one strike can cause a disaster. If they spread ammunition out, resupply becomes slower and more chaotic. Every option gets worse. That is what good pressure does. It does not just destroy, it forces bad choices. And Russia is already fighting a war full of bad choices. Its troops need constant supplies. Its artillery-heavy doctrine burns through ammunition. Its armored vehicles require fuel and repairs. Its defensive lines need reinforcements. Its assault groups need support. The entire machine is hungry. But Ukraine is increasingly trying to starve that machine from a distance. That is what Denmark's shells are for. Not just to hit Russian troops, to make the Russian war machine thinner, slower, more nervous, more expensive to operate, and more vulnerable every single day. This is why the phrase 15,000 artillery rounds does not fully explain the danger, because 15,000 long-range rounds means 15,000 potential moments where Russia has to wonder what Ukraine is aiming at next. A fuel site, a command node, a logistics hub, a road, a crossing point, a staging area, an artillery position, a place where Russian soldiers thought they had a few hours of safety. That safety is disappearing. And when safety disappears, morale begins to rot. Because soldiers can survive a dangerous front if they believe the rear is still functioning. They can endure bad conditions if they believe supplies are coming. They can hold positions if they believe command still has control. But once the rear becomes chaotic, the front begins to feel abandoned. That is the psychological side of long-range fire. It tells Russian troops, even behind you, things are burning. Even behind you, the roads are watched. Even behind you, the depots are not safe. Even behind you, the war is following. That feeling is poisonous, and Ukraine knows it. This is not just a military campaign. It is a campaign against Russian confidence, because confidence is one of the invisible fuels of war. Armies need fuel for vehicles, but they also need belief. They need to believe the system works. They need to believe command knows what it is doing. They need to believe tomorrow's supplies will arrive. They need to believe the rear can absorb pressure. Long-range artillery attacks that belief. Every strike says the same thing. Your depth is shrinking. Your rear is exposed. Your system can be reached. And this is why Denmark's move lands at such a dangerous moment for Russia. The drone war is already expanding. Rear areas are already under more pressure. Moscow itself has repeatedly been forced to react to Ukrainian drones. Russian air defenses are already stretched. The battlefield is already becoming wider, deeper, and more unstable. Now add more long-range artillery rounds, add more reach, add more pressure, add more uncertainty. That is how a battlefield starts to tilt. Not always with one massive breakthrough. Sometimes it tilts because one army is forced to defend more places than it can protect. That is the Russian problem. Protect the front, protect the rear, protect the depots, protect the bridges, protect the command posts, protect the fuel, protect the roads, protect the airfields, protect the capital, protect everything. But no army can protect everything forever, and Ukraine is trying to exploit exactly that. Denmark's shells give Ukraine another way to stretch Russian defenses until something snaps, because each Russian response creates a new weakness. Move air defenses to protect logistics, and the front gets weaker. Move supplies farther back, and the front gets slower. Spread depots out, and the system becomes harder to run. Keep depots concentrated, and one strike can erase them. This is the trap. Ukraine does not need Russia to make one stupid decision. Ukraine needs Russia to face a battlefield where every decision is painful. That is what long-range fire creates, and that is why Russia cannot ignore this shipment. It is not glamorous, it is not a shiny new fighter jet, it is not a giant missile system with a dramatic name. It is artillery ammunition. But wars are often decided by the boring things that arrive at the right time. Fuel, shells, logistics, range. The things that do not look spectacular in a press release, but decide whether soldiers live, whether convoys move, and whether commanders can still control the battlefield. Denmark understood that, Ukraine understood it first, and Russia is about to feel it. Because once these rounds are fully in the fight, every Russian support area within reach becomes part of the battlefield. The war no longer stops at the trench, it moves behind the trench, it moves into the road network, it moves into the supply yard, it moves into the command post, it moves into the places Russia needs to keep hidden. That is the new reality. A battlefield where the front is not a line, it is a zone that keeps expanding. A zone filled with drones, sensors, artillery, and fear. And Denmark has just helped Ukraine push that zone deeper into the Russian system. That is why this moment matters. Because Russia's greatest advantage has always been mass. More men, more equipment, more shells, more willingness to absorb losses. But mass becomes weaker when it cannot move efficiently. Mass becomes weaker when its supplies are hunted. Mass becomes weaker when every convoy has to hide. Mass becomes weaker when command posts keep relocating. Mass becomes weaker when the rear no longer feels calm. Ukraine may not be able to match Russia soldier for soldier, but it can try to make every Russian soldier harder to support. And that may be even more dangerous, because an unsupported army does not collapse all at once. It becomes slower first, then confused, then reactive, then brittle. Then one day, a part of the line gives way, and everyone acts surprised. But the collapse was being built long before that moment. In the fuel delays, in the missing shells, in the command disruptions, in the convoys that never arrived, in the depots that had to move again, in the officers who stopped trusting the map. That is the kind of pressure Ukraine is trying to create. And Denmark's 15,000 long-range artillery rounds are now part of that pressure. Not a miracle weapon, not a war-ending package, but a serious addition to a campaign designed to make Russia's war machine feel smaller, weaker, and less safe every day. That is the real story, not Denmark sends shells. Denmark helps Ukraine extend the kill zone. Denmark helps Ukraine threaten the rear. Denmark helps Ukraine make Russian logistics afraid. And in this war, afraid logistics can become broken logistics. Broken logistics can become stalled assaults. Stalled assaults can become panic. And panic can spread faster than any shell. So now Russia has a new problem. The front is still burning, the drones are still watching, the rear is no longer quiet, and Ukraine just received more reach. That means the next Russian convoy, the next ammunition dump, the next command post, and the next fuel site may already be living on borrowed time. Because the message behind Denmark's shipment is simple: the battlefield is getting longer, the danger zone is getting deeper, and Russia's safe space is disappearing, one shell at a time.